I got my straight up class. My cigar, my liquor, my hat. I'm actually gonna put my freaking cigar down because it gives me a freaking stomach ache and makes me nauseous and causes cancer. So don't smoke. I don't care how cool it looks, but you can drink alcohol. Even though that also gives you a stomach ache and makes you nauseous and cause cancer, it's too freaking epic to not do because it's freaking cool as hell. So let's go ahead and keep drinking that while I give you my top 20 albums of 2021. Yeah! It's like the Super Bowl for music nerds. This is the event that every music nerd is looking forward to, which is the end of the year lists of the best albums that come out of 2021. So here's my list of the best 20. I did my homework. I did not accept money from music labels like Anthony Fantano did to, I don't know, but the point is this is accurate, so trust me on this, and for those who are new to my channel, thank you for watching. Let's get started. One more quick sip of my Now we shall begin. Let's get started. I just can't hold it anymore. I also have some cool updates about my channel coming soon, but first, number 20 is, do not judge me, do not click away, do not X out, I will explain. It is it's Van Weezer by Weezer. Do not kick my ass. This is the second album to come out this year from Weezer. I had to put it on the list because I would be lying. I would be lying to myself and I would be lying to you if I said that I could think of 20 albums that came out this year that brought me more joy than Van Weezer. Because yes, it's got a bad rating on Rate Your Music. It's Weezer, it's corny, they're doing stupid genres that are so corny, 70s, 80s, blah, blah, blah. I know. It's fucking corny, it's fucking poppy, it's overproduced, it's dorky, it's dumb. But, look at this shit. When I got this album, I pre-ordered this vinyl like a year ago, and when I got it, I was so fucking happy and excited, like literally so happy, and all the songs are like super catchy and really well written and just a lot of fun. It's supposed to be corny, god dang it. I don't understand why this album has gotten such bad reception. It's so fucking fun. I love that album. Really fun. So, okay. That's it. I'm not gonna go on anymore about it. It's fucking Weezer. I should be ashamed of myself. But I had to be honest with you. So let's just move on to number 19 and pretend that didn't happen. Number 19 is kind of the polar opposite of Van Weezer, which is Promises, the album that was a collaboration between Floating Points, who is a fantastic electronic producer, Pharoah Sanders, who is a freaking legend in the genre of spiritual jazz, and jazz in general. He's a freaking legend. I saw him live, actually. And third, the London Symphony Orchestra. So I was just going into this album honestly pretty pessimistic when you're bringing together an electronic producer with a jazz musician with an orchestra. I thought it was all going to clash and come out like doo-doo, but instead we have a very gently crafted, very beautiful, minimal album that just swells and builds and, you know, it's just like super like intricate and gentle. They took a very minimal approach to combining some very complex elements together, and it worked out phenomenally. So polar opposite. This is like a minimal intellectual album compared to the Van Weezer, which was the very opposite of that. So I promise you, this is a good list. It's not a joke list. I just really like Van Weezer, and Promises I put as better, so you know I'm fucking serious about this shit. So let's move on. I'm taking another sip. I already regret putting Van Weezer as the first album I'm talking about. Everyone's gonna X out. Moving on to number 18, we have Dummies' album, Mandatory Enjoyment. This is another record that just like super caught me off guard. Like I was following Dummies' EPs they were releasing, which were super cool. Psychedelic space rock, krautrock, experimental rock, whatever you want to call it, just cozy, fuzzy, yummy tones. And then they released their debut album this year, Mandatory Enjoyment, which is just like they take this amazing formula that they've got worked out and just step it up to the next level with even more delicious and more yummy guitar tones and synths and these pounding drums that sound so great, like a lo-fi kind of, like I just need to see this band live. Like if you like noise pop and psychedelic rock and space rock and indie rock and experimental rock and all those amazing genres, well, guess what? Lucky for you, Dummy released Mandatory Enjoyment this year, which is a fantastic execution of those epic freaking genres. Shoegaze, you name it, they're freaking sucking some awesome music. Thank you, Dummy! And now we're moving on to 17, which is Juçara Marçal's album, Delta Estácio Blues. Another record. Like, I've never listened to Juçara Marçal before this album came out, which is a big mistake because she's a fucking genius, a Brazilian expert in experimental rock and post-punk and art rock, and she comes out with this freaking amazing album that blends those genres together with like industrial electronic experimentation. What the hell? What a weird like samba, like all these crazy influences coming together that somehow work like really well. Every song is like a very thorough, very well thought out experiment with Juçara Marçal, who's just an amazing vocalist on top of this, singing these beautiful, powerful melodies that are so emotional in Portuguese. Like, what a unique, cool fucking album. That is a great album. Definitely making it on my top 20 list. Shout out to all the Brazilians watching. Thank you for sending this album to me until I reviewed it. I'm so glad that you did because it's a freaking awesome album. Next up, we've got number 16, which is Godspeed You, Black Emperor's album, Godspeed at State's End. Is that what it's? Godspeed at State. That's what it's called. Godspeed at State's End. And this, again, another, like, I just didn't see any of this shit coming. I knew Godspeed You was probably going to release another album. And frankly, I had low expectations because their past, like, 4 albums have been pretty good. But I always would kind of come out of them a little disappointed that they're not capturing the magic of their early material. And this album, Godspeed at State's End, regardless of the goofy album title, it actually does have some real freaking early Godspeed You Black Emperor magic to it. The way these crescendos, they just do this amazing thing where they use the feedback of their guitars so tastefully to just like supercharge their crescendos. It sounds like if the Velvet Underground was like an instrumental band with like a lot of musicians and they were playing loud as fuck and were making post-rock. I mean, that's the magic of Godspeed You Black Emperor, and they capture here some lift your skinny fists kind of tones coming through, and it's just emotional as hell. It gave me chills, and it made me so freaking happy to hear Godspeed You still able to fucking make music this powerful. So of course, like, this was like a mind-blowing experience. I love this record. I always enjoy listening to it. So makes my top 20 list. By the way, one quick channel update before I move on. I tweeted this and I think I posted it on the community page, but I've never mentioned it in any of my videos, but I figured this one probably enough people will see. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, if you're watching, please subscribe if you haven't yet, because I set a challenge to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which we can do. It's gonna be a push, but we need everybody to freaking subscribe. We're this close. It's gonna be paper thin close. But if I hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'm going to be releasing a new metal song as a diss track against Anthony Fantano, professionally produced. So please help me get there, because I really want to record that song. I have fantasies about it, so I want to just smash Anthony Fantano's ass so hard, so please do that. Number 15 goes to Censored Dialogue's album, Afro Pessimist. This is a freaking dope album. Another artist I had never listened to before this year who ended up making onto my top 20 list. And holy shiz, if you haven't listened to Censored Dialogue's album, Afro Pessimist, you should go listen to it, because it is some of the heaviest freaking hip-hop I have ever heard. Not just in terms of the production. I mean, the production isn't even super abrasive or anything, but it's very abstract. I love the beats here. It's actually pretty jazzy. I would say where it gets heavy is really in the lyrics. The lyrics here are just so like emotionally raw and heavy and just packed with so much power and inspiration. You pack this amazing vocal delivery with the amazing lyrics and the amazing beats. It's just like a fucking like, holy shit, this is like, it's such a cool record. Censored Dialogue is just getting started. I cannot wait to see what she does next. I have a discussion with her that you should check out. I actually didn't get to review this album, but I did get to have a nice discussion with Censored Dialogue. You should check out. It was a very, very fun and interesting conversation. So yeah, I mean, fucking awesome job, Censored Dialogue. Amazing start to your music career. Cannot wait to see what you do next. Next up, we have Black Midi's Cavalcade. Black Midi, everyone's freaking sucking this band like nuts because they freaking love how experimental and chaotic they are. They released Schlagenheim, which was a weird, crazy album that I feel like had a lot of great ideas, but wasn't always executed so fantastically. And then Cavalcade, they come along with their second album, and I'm a lot more impressed with Cavalcade than I was with Schlagenheim, even though Cavalcade took maybe a little bit less of an ambitious direction. I mean, this is avant-prog, so it's still very ambitious, but I feel like Schlagenheim, while they were just trying to do so much crazy stuff that wasn't executed so well, I feel like with Cavalcade Black Midi really narrowed down. Like, we want to do this, like, progressive, mathy, chaotic, specific sound and just nail it and make it into a cohesive record, and that's exactly what they do with Cavalcade. And they've got lots of really fun and beautiful and interesting and stimulating moments throughout this whole record. I think I understand why people are so excited about this band. I cannot wait to see what they do next, because they really are freaking talented. Moving right along to 13, we have Little Ugly Manes. What's this freaking, I gotta read this title off the freaking laptop. Volcanic Bird Enemy and the Voiced Concern. So lots of mind fucks around this album. One, it's Little Ugly Mane. I didn't think he was gonna be releasing anything else. Two, he made a freaking psychedelic pop album when he normally makes experimental hip hop, like really dark and gritty and like Memphis influenced hip hop. And then he comes around with this psychedelic record that is like really experimental. He's doing stuff totally different than anything else he's done, but he's just so freaking talented that he's able to bring in a lot of just so many fascinating like songs that are both really catchy and really strange samples used in instrumentation. Like, this is a fascinating record that is full of so many twists and turns, and it just shows to you that Little Ugly Mane is really a musical genius, and I hope he can continue to develop, you know, just honing in on his skills making psychedelic music, because I hear a ton of potential here, and I mean, this is honestly one of the coolest records I've heard all fucking year and one of my favorites, so of course it's going on the list. Number 12 is Isaiah Rashad's The House is Burning. I freaking love the hell out of this record. If you are into chill hip-hop that's really about creating a mood and an atmosphere with really smooth rapping, some, you know, southern hip-hop beats, like Jpegmafia kind of influence coming in, with beautiful, I mean, this is just, the production is just so beautiful. I feel like this is, yeah, I think it's so weird. Like, this is such a fucking fantastic album, but not everyone loves it so much. I think because it is a little bit on the slower side. It's not going to be full of, you know, bangers that are going to make you want to bounce your head around. And Fantano did a terrible job reviewing it. It's a really good record. Like I said, it creates such a fucking amazing atmosphere. I love Isaiah Rashad's flow. I love his lyrics. It's got so much charm. This is a real orgasmic listen, so going on the top 20 list, amazing job, Isaiah Rashad. Number 11, almost halfway there, folks. We are doing this shiz right now. Is Jpegmafia's album LP. Jpegmafia, holy crap! Is there a more talented producer on the planet? Maybe not. He's a freak. Like, what the hell is he doing? How is he making music that sounds like this? I mean, I was blown. He was already releasing amazing music, and then with All My Heroes Are Cornballs, which is just a fucking genius record, he just took it to the next level. And then LP, he's like taking the genius of All My Heroes Are Cornballs and making it like darker and more abstract and a little harder hitting and like scattered and stuff. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what the? This is just, like I said, it's like I described it in my review. Like, you just hear the brain of a genius opening up and all the genius is just spewing out of his brain. That's literally what it sounds like. It's so chaotic. The fact that there's an online version and an offline version, what the hell? It's epic. Amazing experimental hip-hop. And with that, we are halfway through. We are now on the top 10. Very exciting stuff. I'm going to take a sip of this. I'm going to need it if we're going to finish this in time, huh? Ooh, man. It's like noon where I'm at. I've already drank a lot of that. Oh, man. Dumb! But you know what? It's the top 21 albums of the year. We have to celebrate, which means forcing yourself to drink sometimes to look cool on the video. Now we're gonna move on to 10. 10 is Madlib's Sound Ancestors. Madlib, I went into this album with pretty low expectations, not because Madlib is untalented, but because Madlib has just accomplished so freaking much throughout his whole freaking career that it's just like, there's no way he can release another amazing album. There's no way Madlib, who's worked with freaking Freddie Gibbs and MF Doom and a ton of amazing artists, is going to be able to release an amazing album in 2021 after a long-ass career. And I was wrong, because this album does fucking everything phenomenally. It has that crazy, psychedelic, cartoonish, fun, playful, instrumental hip-hop that we know from Madlib. It has some more hard-hitting, kind of like boom bap, you know, more aggressive, kind of like 90s sort of style hip-hop beats. It's real jazzy, it's real artsy, it's real psychedelic, and it's just like, the mixing is pristine. It's like, this is the work of a fucking genius at play. And that, to me, is just absolutely astounding. And it's just, even taking the context aside of the fact that it's Madlib and he already has an amazing career, this is just a phenomenal instrumental hip-hop album. Madlib, you are a huge inspiration. Congrats again on releasing another amazing album. That was number 10. Let's move on to number 9. I'm not gonna lie, folks, that alcohol is really hitting, so we're gonna do our best to get through this as best as we can. So number 9 is Little Simz album's Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. This album, woo! Little Simz has already demonstrated she's a super talented artist back in 2019 when she released her album Gray Area, which was topping so many lists as one of the best albums of 2019. That was a great record, and releasing an album in 2021, she somehow manages to blow our mind even further than we thought possible with Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, which takes the talent she displayed in Gray Area and just jumps up the ambition times 1,000 with orchestras, with in-depth lyrics about her internal struggles as an artist, as a black woman, as someone who's continuing the legacy of hip-hop. Very thought-provoking lyrics, very powerful and passionate and brilliant lyrics. This is a fucking, like, incredible album, both in terms of the ambition, the lyrics, the versatility, the sheer talent that's just spilling out of Little Simz's mouth. Like, this is, I think, going down as one of the best hip-hop albums of the year, for sure, of the decade, for sure, maybe one of the best hip-hop albums, of all time. Who knows? Time will tell, but it's really that ambitious that I think it's kind of a classic, and you can just tell listening to it. Number 8 is the Bodies album, I've Seen All I Need to See. This is a freaking heavy, noisy, epic album. This is one of the first albums I listened to this year, and it stuck with me so much. You know, it's a whole year passed, and I still like have it deep in my heart, which obviously makes it a contender for top 10 2021. What's going on here? Like, this is just like, I've never really heard an album like this before. The instrumentation is so dark and so heavy. It's like, it sounds like an album that's mostly an experiment of trying and experimenting with unconventional recording and production techniques that somehow comes together in a super heavy and powerful listen with extremely unique, delicious, heavy, drony, metally tones. But beyond just the amazing tones and production, they actually make really interesting songs that build and grow and get heavy and get fucking just like soul crushing. It's a fucking, like, I've never heard music like this before. That is just so fucking cool, and it's so well executed. This is an amazing album. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Especially if you're into heavy music, this is a freaking phenomenal ass album. Up next at number 7, we have a really fucking cool album. Rhododendron's album, Protozoan Battle Hymns. What I like about this album so much is that it is, I would say it falls under the category of a specific genre that is just amazing, that there just isn't enough music coming out within this genre of what I like to call progressive post-hardcore, which is basically post-hardcore that is just trying to push the boundaries, doing all sorts of nerdy, fun, crazy stuff. And of course, I love listening to music like that. I've made some music I kind of think falls vaguely under that category with my band Died, and you know, I actually got I got caught wind of this album because I heard that this band they tweeted that they took influence from my band Died, so of course I listened to it. And I'm not being biased. I'm not being biased. I'm not putting them on this list because of that. If they said they hated my band, I would still probably put them on the list because that's how fucking good their music. I would put them on the list because that's how fucking good their music is. If you don't believe me, listen to it. It's over an hour long of just incredible mathy noise rock that's just, it goes on all these crazy journeys where these songs just take you on a journey where sometimes they're hard and fast and aggressive and kind of like chuggy, kind of maybe crusty punk and metal tones. Sometimes they kind of bring in some glorious, beautiful guitar solos and droniness that's psychedelic. I mean, this album is just like unlike anything I've ever heard, and I love the genre of post-hardcore, so believe me when I say this is really a standout album within the genre. So I'm very thrilled I listened to this album because it's one of my favorites of the year. I am stunned by this. I cannot wait to see what Rhododendron does next, and yeah, please go listen to it because it's punk. Folks, it is literally sinking in right now that I am like literally fucking drunk. Maybe you can't tell, maybe you can. I don't think you can tell because I'm trying my best to hide it. But we're gonna move on. Okay, I'm gonna shill real quick. I haven't shilled. I'm gonna do it right now. So I am going to be releasing let me get it real quick. I've already sold. Hold up. Quick note. I just realized I'm wearing a fucking blue shirt with a blue screen behind me. How the fuck am I gonna edit this video? The blue... Alright, whatever. Let me just talk about what I was gonna tell you about. I've been working on this for a long ass time. It's an EP I'm releasing soon under the name Joker Card. It's like IDM, hip-hop, industrial hip-hop, techno, all this kind of just IDM, electronic experimentation. I've been wanting to make some electronic music for a long time, so I'm releasing an EP January 7th, 2022. Check out the album cover. I also got these CDs for sale, so you can, it'll be, I'll let you know when it's out. It's coming out January 7th, but you can pre-order that CD. There's only 25 copies, and it's like signed and all that shit. So you want a copy? So they're available for pre-order on Bandcamp. I'll put the link. Okay, done shilling. This is quickly falling apart between the amount of alcohol in my system, the fact that I realized I'm wearing a fucking blue shirt with a blue screen, so this is gonna look all fucking stupid the entire time. I'm not refilming this shit. I'm too drunk for that. Gotta power through. This was like the big video I was looking forward to all year, and I fucked it up. Number six is Squid's album Bright Green Field. This album really, really astounded me. As someone who really appreciates rock and post-punk and post-hardcore and punk and noise rock and experimental rock, there's been an undeniable amount of those genres coming out lately, especially from the UK. A lot of albums came out this year, from Viagra Boys to Shame to Black Midi, Black Country New Road. Lots of great albums in these genres. And I feel like one band out of all of them stands above all of them, which is Squid. Squid is doing a phenomenal job of keeping their playing real tight, real focused, real complex, without trying too hard. Their music is full. I think lots of people kind of overlook Squid for Black Midi and Black Country New Road, but I will argue that Squid is better than both of them because they keep their intelligence in their musicianship real focused and real. Like, I feel like Black Country New Road sometimes, like, goes over the board with, like, trying to be intellectual. While Squid, I feel like they just kind of do it. Like, Narrator is, like, one of the best songs of the freaking year. That song is catchy as fuck. It's got, like, incredible guitar riffs. It takes you on this whole journey with all this... this is a freaking cool as fuck album. Like, amazing. Amazing. And I will defend it, even though I'm normally a critic of this stuff. I feel like Squid nails it out of the park. And they also released a fantastic EP, I think it was last year, so they're killing it, and I cannot wait to see what they do next. Shout out to you, Squid, I love you. Number 5 is Turnstile's Glow On. Finally a freaking punk. Is this the only punk album I included in this record, or in this list? Maybe. Sorry. Punk Revolution now, right? So Turnstile's album, Glow On, number 5, Turnstile. They are a New York hardcore band. They released an album, I think, 3 years ago. What was it called? Time and Space or something like that. That was just good old-fashioned New York hardcore, really catchy melodies. Everyone, can sing along to and dance and mosh to. It's like kind of like poppy hardcore music. And I enjoyed that record. I wasn't expecting that much from their newest record because it sounded like from the singles for Glow On, it sounded like the production was getting cleaner and it sounds like they were moving in a more poppy direction, which I didn't like. But then they released the whole album, and this album it's just like so fucking fun. It's got these like epic as fuck, like kind of like almost like Rage Against the Machine, kind of like heavy groovy riffs, except it's like hardcore. It's got these like kind of metalcore breakdowns, but then it has these like real catchy, really catchy melodies in it. Like it just takes the heaviness to a harder, heavier level, and the catchiness to a higher level, and it's like. And they also got some cool alternative rock experimentation in there too that actually works. And they've got these cool like percussion, like electronic percussion they're experimenting with. It's just like a blast from start to finish. Like phenomenal songwriting. Caught me off guard. Again, another one. Freaking amazing album. Deserves to be in the top 5. I wasn't supposed to drink all this when I started this video, but I'm almost there, so... Made it to the top 4. The alcohol isn't helping. It doesn't make me look cool. It's not like making me relaxed to do a better job talking about this album. It's just fucking me up. I don't drink very often, folks, don't worry. It was just a stupid idea for the video. Number 4. God damn it. This is a great album. Number 4, Sweet Trip's album, A Tiny House in Secret. I gotta read this. A Tiny House in Secret Speeches, Polar Equals. What a freaking title. Sweet Trip, I actually was blessed enough to interview them. I swear it was a fucking amazing conversation with one of my favorite artists. It's like every music nerd's dream come true, so go ahead and check out the interview. I'll put it in the description. But enough about that. Sweet Trip, they've released 3 albums before this one. All 3 were phenomenal, but they have not released an album in over a decade. So this was kind of a comeback album because their first 3 albums are just pretty much flawless. And they're releasing a 4th record a decade after they've released anything else. I'm nervous, like, oh my god, are they going to ruin their perfect discography with an album that just tries to recreate their glory of the past but doesn't live up to it or whatever? But nope, believe it or not, their 4th album is literally on par with their already phenomenal discography. And on some days, it's actually my favorite Sweet Trip record because this is like cozy, heavenly, delicious delight. Beautiful lullaby-like melodies, beautiful guitar work that's so gentle, but it also has some nice crescendos, real shoegazy crescendos. Like, it just feels so intimate, so romantic, so like laying by the fireplace, just feeling cozy and feeling good. Like, that is a fucking great record and it's not just about how good it makes you feel, which is obviously very important, but like literally there's like a lot of talent in these songs too. Some of these songs are quite long and really take their time to develop and keep you interested from start to finish, and this whole record is just full. Every single song is just fucking like a oh my god, that melody is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Phenomenal record. Shout out to you, Sweet Trip, for kicking ass still this late into this discography, and I'm so grateful I got to interview you, and I'm going to tell the audience again to please check out that interview if you have time. Thank you, Sweet Trip. Folks, we're in the top 3. Let's get this shit going, folks. We're going to do this. Number 3 is Lowe's album, Hey What? Another band that was just excelling in the 90s, excelling in the early 2000s, and somehow this late into their career is excelling again and continuing to release some of their best stuff. Lowe's album, Hey What? It's just, I find this album just to be absolutely stunning. I have never heard any album like this before, where it uses very abrasive and industrial and droney and heavy textures that I have no clue how they're making, if they're using guitars or if it's all, you know, computer generated noise or whatever. And they're using it to like make these like swelling, beautiful, like aggressive crescendos that somehow feel like gentle and soft on your ears, with 2 vocalists. The 2 vocalists singing these beautiful harmonies. It's like, it's literally like the most noise pop record I've ever heard, where the noise is literally the noisiest noise I've heard, and the pop is literally like the poppiest I've ever heard. Like, some of these melodies are like I said, like a freaking cowboy singing a lullaby to you. I don't know how you get a cowboy singing a lullaby to you to somehow blend with industrial drony noise textures. But they do. And it's unlike anything I've ever heard, and it gives me chills. It's stunning. It's stunning both in terms of how much I enjoyed listening to this album, and also as a musician, how much I'm impressed with the fact that they were able to compose this record. Phenomenal work. Low. How are you still doing such innovative stuff this late into your career? That's why it's making the top 3, folks. It's a fucking incredible record. Blew my mind. Number 2, top 2. You know how hard it was to pick which one I was going to put as number 1? I feel like all freaking top 5 were just phenomenal, but you know what? I figured it out. I've checked my list a million times. This is how I feel. And, I mean, this is an incredible, incredible, incredible album. Number 2 is Backwash's I Lie, Buried with My Dresses and My Rings. Holy crap. Oh my god, folks. Backwash. I've really enjoyed watching Backwash's career develop as she released her debut album and then a fantastic EP, and you know, I'm enjoying watching her career. She's got a funny Twitter, and then she drops this album, which to me is just like, folks, this is not just an exciting artist to watch. This is now an exciting artist, period, who released one of the best albums of the year, like that, like shook me to my core. With the amount of attention to detail, the amount of love and creativity put into every single song, every single beat, every single lyric. Incredibly, I mean, Backwash is just a genius. The way you listen to her rapping. If you just focus only on her rapping throughout this record, you're gonna hear amazing rhythmic techniques and rhymes that just like kind of weave together so brilliantly. If you listen to her lyrics, you're gonna hear so much brilliant lyrics connecting really powerful themes together about religion and depression and life being freaking miserable. So focus on the rapping, you focus on the, and just focus on the beats. The beats here are like unlike anything I've heard. Industrial, aggressive, abrasive, heavy music. This is heavy music. Not everyone's gonna vibe with it so much, but it's the samples are just like so creative. A Godspeed You Black Emperor sample, a sample that sounds like kind of like a chant of I'm assuming like a tribe from Africa or something that kind of like develops and builds, that's dissonant, but then ends the song with this like beautiful major kind of release. Like from a musician standpoint, Backwash is just like absolutely fucking killing it. Lyrically and emotionally, it's heavy and powerful as fuck. Her talent as a vocalist is just outstanding. Like, this is a fucking phenomenal album. If Backwash never released another album for the rest of her career, I would say she's already one of the best rappers of this generation. But she's just getting started. She's gonna be releasing more stuff, and I'm fucking hyped for that because she's a fucking genius. All right, folks. We made it to number one. Number uno. Oh my god. I feel like crap. That alcohol is too strong. Number one is Injury Reserves. By the Time I Get to Phoenix. I gave this album a 10. The only album I give a 10 this year. Please listen to this fucking album. Please listen to this album. Because this is really a phenomenal, knock it out of the park, perfect album. Injury Reserve has already been a favorite of mine in terms of recent experimental hip-hop coming out. I loved their record that came out 2 years ago. I loved their mixtapes. They have already just been so fantastic. So I've been really looking forward to see what they were doing next. But very sadly, last year, in the middle of a fucking pandemic, when things were just fucking miserable for everybody, Stepa J. Groggs, one of the vocalists of Injury Reserve, passed away. That is just like, I mean, imagine one of your favorite artists loses a member at such a young, he was like in his 30s. Like, that was just like devastating. It's like hard to process. So I kind of was actually almost a little nervous for this album because, I mean, they lost a member. I don't have any. If you're in a band or a musical group that loses a member tragically, like, you have permission to never release anything again, and no one's gonna be mad at you because it's such a traumatizing event. Like, how are you gonna be able to make music under that pressure and under those terrible circumstances? And of course, this album is dedicated to Stepa J. Groggs, and even if it wasn't for that incredibly heavy backstory, this album would still be a 10, because musically, what it is doing, it's just like the most abstract, freaking experimental hip-hop I've ever heard. It sounds like it's just hip-hop that's just like melting before your eyes. Like, it just sounds like it's literally falling apart. Like, I cannot keep even, like, the beats cannot even hold themselves together. And you combine that with Richie with a T, whose vocals also sound like he's so depressed. It sounds like he's almost psychotic. He's so depressed, saying things that don't even make very much sense. Like, just like dripping with depression and sadness. I mean, this is like heavy fucking shit. Very nihilistic. Like, this is like the most nihilistic album of the year for sure. And like I said, you take the sad, powerful lyrics away, you take the, like, it's just so innovative too, and so creative. Like the shellac sample, the Brian Eno sample, that shit fucking, like, it's like a fucking shit, it's just a fucking, like, holy shit. So every time I listen to this album, it blows my mind. Perfectly crafted, and I'm very grateful this album came out this year. So, yeah, oh, holy shit. That's the whole fucking list. Oh man, can't wait to edit this and freaking lose my mind. I'm curious to see what this looks like with my shirt being all fucked up. I hope it's not distracting for too many of you, but we'll see. Maybe I'll figure out how to make it not blend with the blue screen behind me, but yes, I wore a fucking blue shirt with a blue screen. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, if I missed any albums that you love, or I'm still gonna be listening to albums that came out this year. Go ahead and comment some great albums that came out this year. I'll definitely check out, and other people can check out. If there's a favorite of yours I missed, or if there's a favorite of mine that you also like, you can argue with me or tell me why it's better or why you agree or whatever. I love those comments. It helps me get more views. And like I said, we're so freaking close to 5,000 subscribers. Can we do it? 200 subscribers in 2 weeks. That is a massive push. But we can do it. So I can, if we do it, I'll make that new metal song dissing Anthony Fantano. So if you're new to the channel, please do that. I'm freaking drunk as hell. I need to lay down. That was so I just fucked this whole video up. I don't care. It's fun. Hope you had a great time watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support throughout this whole year. It's been incredible. And I'm excited to do more stuff. And check out the EP I'm releasing soon under the name Joker Card. Pre-order a CD. There's only 25 copies, and they're selling out. So go do that quick before, so you can get a limited edition copy. Thank you for watching, and thank you for tolerating my shelling my EP, and thank you for watching and supporting me. Punk Revolution now.